Do you ever notice when you think about taking a risk, everything seems great. Hey, maybe I want to run that marathon. Maybe I want to take that next job. Really easy to talk about, really hard to do, to actually take that leap of faith. Our next speaker is no stranger to risk. In fact, she founded her first company at 21 years old. She's an avid reader, and I think what we relate to the most, she believes in human-to-human marketing and forging your own path. I think we can learn a lot from her on all of those dimensions. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the founder and CEO of Impact, Charlotte Pearce.
The moment we enter this world, we cannot speak a word, yet we are born with the innate ability to connect, the innate ability to love. Watch children play, and you can see it. It's ingrained in our DNA. It's ingrained in who we are. But we grow up. We begin to hide behind our technology, and we disconnect. But what if it could be different? What if every day you stopped and smiled at someone on the street? What if every day you asked yourself the question, what can I do for somebody else today? What if every day you connected with one of your customers by creating a thoughtful and memorable moment? Imagine the possibilities for your life, for your business, for our world.
Love. We all strive to gain it, give it. Some of us run towards it, others quickly away from it. But what is it? And why am I standing on this stage today talking to you about it? I really wanted to start my presentation by putting on the screen a really clear and profound definition of love. So what do we do when we want answers? I turned to my old friend Google, and this is what I found. Love is a short word, easy to spell, difficult to define, and impossible to live without. Love is a many splendid thing. Love lifts us up where we belong. All you need is love. Yep, some of you giggling there, that is in fact Ewan McGregor from Moulin Rouge. But the next one was my absolute favourite. Love is nature's way of tricking people into reproducing. So I had to go to our good old friend, the Oxford Dictionary, who says, love is a strong feeling of deep affection for somebody or something. Now, that's not bad, Oxford, but none of these definitions really got me excited. None of them moved me, so I created my own. Love is a profound connection, a selfless interaction. It's pure and it's meaningful. When love is present, it creates a space where possibility unfolds. It's the greatest gift we have as human beings, and its potential is unlimited. Now, when I said that, you probably thought about your partner, your spouse, or your family. But where does this definition sit in your companies? Where does it sit inside your business? Today, I want to change the way that you think about love, thoughtfulness, and connection in business. I don't know about you, but I love Christmas. It's a holiday filled with so much excitement, so much joy. I was fortunate enough to grow up in a loving and happy family, and Christmas was such a wonderful time of year. I think back to when I was a kid, and there's one moment that I remember vividly. It became my favourite. Every Christmas morning, myself and my brother would run downstairs with my parents to see if Santa had been. In the front room would be 4 sacks of presents, mine and Dan's from Santa, and Mom and Dad's to each other. But Dad didn't just give Mom a sack of presents like everyone else. Each gift was carefully wrapped, and a large brown tag attached to each and every single one. On the tag, he'd handwritten a joke, a memory, or a clue. We'd gather round watching my mom open her presents, laughing, joking, giggling, listening to her read them aloud. waiting of anticipation of what was inside. For all the Christmases that I've had in my life, I can't recall the gifts that even myself or my mum has gotten, but I will never ever forget how it felt watching my mum open her gifts, the happiness and the joy. So every year since, I've taken on the Pearce mantle of the thoughtful gifts with the handwritten notes. It's worth 100 times more than the gift itself. That moment was so impactful in my life, it's made me who I am today. It's inspired the business that I've created. And what did it cost? Pretty much nothing. It doesn't matter how technical the world gets, which AR, VR, blah blah technology is created next, which Nest, jingle-jangle contraption things we have in our homes or on our wrists, or which Netflix, Amazon TV tricks we have at our fingertips. One thing remains the same. People. Humans are at the heart of our world and at the heart of business. And although our surroundings and gadgets may have changed, what we long for, what makes us human, what makes us truly happy, hasn't. Today, we are more connected than ever before. Yet depression and loneliness is at an all-time high. Trust and loyalty is the lowest it's ever been. And attention is incredibly hard to get. I recently watched a great presentation by Brian Halligan of HubSpot, a company of which Impact uses and loves. Brian summed up so eloquently the problem with sales and marketing today. We all know conceptually that the customers are the heart of our business. We simply wouldn't exist without them. They're our lifeblood, right? Yet, we treat them like outputs. If we do X, Y, Z activity, and we do it well, then, if we did it right, out pops a customer. Yet today, our customers are inputs. The marketing funnel is redundant. Word of mouth is the loudest noise in the market right now. Customers are no longer the end of the transaction, they're in fact their beginning. They're the greatest marketing tool that you have. In every single other area of your life, when a human being is important to you, when they're your lifeblood, when you can't live without them, you will do anything for them. You'll love them, you'll care for them, you'll give selflessly to them, you'll do anything to keep them in your life. Yet, if that is the case, why do we put love, thoughtfulness, and connection over here in a box labelled life, and put customers and clients in a sterile box over here labelled business? It's time to collapse the two boxes together and label them human connection. Now, I've been running businesses, give or take, for the last 9 years or so. And I recently came to a stark realization that business is just like dating. And I'm going to prove it to you. I'm about to read you a list. And I want you to guess where I was when I came up with this list. Was I out for dinner with my girlfriend over a glass of wine, talking about dating? Or was I in a sales and marketing meeting? First impressions are so crucial. They are everything. They'll make their decision about you in the first 8 seconds of meeting you. Technology is great. There's so many apps. We can reach so many more people, but it's really difficult to stand out. You can move someone from interested to very interested by asking lots of open-ended questions. Honesty and transparency up front makes for a lasting relationship. Authenticity is attractive. Now, you have to remember, don't just talk about yourself the whole time. Listening is far more important. And don't get excited too much after the first meeting. There's a long way to go yet. You don't want to send too many messages too early. You don't want to seem too keen. Can you guess it? It was actually a sales and marketing meeting. Well, kind of. My head of sales, Steve, and I were sitting in a coffee shop waiting for a potential client meeting. He turned to me and said, "Charlotte, do you know what Sarah looks like so we can catch her when she walks in?" I said I didn't, but I got out my phone, I found her on LinkedIn and looked at a picture of her so I could spot her when she walked in. Steve started giggling and said to me, "I do that with my Tinder dates too." And I realised, us sitting in a coffee shop waiting for our meeting, was just like Steve on his Tinder dates. So whilst we're waiting, we kept the conversation going about all the reasons why sales and marketing was just like dating. The result? That list. And trust me, we could have kept on going too. But it made me think, if sales and marketing is just like dating, I wonder if what we look for in a brand we love, a brand we use, resembles what we look for in a romantic relationship. So, I got out my trusty fountain pen and I started making a list of all the things that I look for in a romantic relationship. I look for someone who's a great communicator, who can express themselves as well as listen well. I look for someone I can trust and depend on. Someone who's not afraid to be vulnerable, who's not afraid to be authentic. Someone who makes me laugh. Someone who's adventurous and spontaneous. Someone who creates romantic moments, just like my dad did for my mom. Someone who has an ambitious vision for themselves and their lives. Someone that's kind and caring and cares about the world. And someone who respects me and who I am. It didn't take me long to realise they're all the things that I look for in a brand I love too. Yet so often, brands do the opposite. They don't communicate. They don't explain when things go wrong. They hide when they messed up. They get complacent that with a good product or service, customers are just keep going to come back to us. They get serious all the time. They maximise results for shareholders, and they don't always care about people and the planet. But we all know what happens in relationships when we don't communicate, when we hide things. Divorce. And it's no different in business either. One very grey and rainy day last year, I'm working away in my office, and my phone goes. I pick it up to see it's an image from the guy I'm dating. I open it, and it's a graphic. The graphic reads, "You'll find me in the middle of the circus, where the winged one soars and true love strikes its blow. 7 p.m. Now, I can only see from some of your faces, you probably know what it means, right? I'm not a Londoner, and I had no idea. So I'm reading it over and over again, trying to wrap my brains to where the hell in London this is. It's getting close to 7 o'clock, so I have to put my pride to one side and I pluck up the courage to ask my team for help. I read the riddle aloud, and when the ahs had finally stopped, they all said they'd agreed to help. Many Sherlock Holmes detective calls later, we get it. The circus is Piccadilly Circus, and the winged one, Eros, the Greek god of love. So nearly 7 o'clock, I run around the office trying to find anything I can to glam myself up, and I head on the tube to Piccadilly. I get off the tube, and then I see it. The statue standing in all of its glory. I'd been here so many times before, but I'd never stopped to take a moment to look at this beautiful monument. I look up to see Eros' focused face towers over hundreds of tourists. Wings span wide, chiseled body covered in just a small piece of cloth, holding his mighty arrow of love. And then I see him, perfectly positioned under Eros' arrow tip. Standing there in his linen shirt, new shoes, and a broad but beaming smile. It suddenly became one of those moments you see in the movies. The background goes blurry, time stood still, and all I could see is him. I knew that in that moment, my life would never be the same again. I'd fallen madly in love. In one simple, yet powerful act, he'd managed to move me from a warm lead into a very hot prospect. And I'm still a happy and loyal customer today too, although there's still a little bit of room to become a lifelong advocate. But what he did is he created a moment, a thoughtful and spontaneous moment. He got vulnerable, he put himself out there. And how much did it cost? Pretty much nothing. From now on, I declare that an Eros moment. A moment that stops time. A moment that you talk about for the rest of your life. How can you create Eros moments in your business, with your customers, and with your team? My company, Impact, is built on and for creating Eros moments. Our platform allows you to send handwritten notes and gifts to the people who make your business great. Genuinely handwritten and packaged by hundreds of humans across the country, each with their own story, whether it's recovering from cancer, overcoming homelessness, or living life as a single mother. We bring together technology and real people to create meaningful moments that drive revenue. But it's not just Eros moments we create for our customers. We create them to get our customers too. One of our longest standing customers is a retail company. They first heard about us through word of mouth. One of our existing customers loved our service so much, they told the CEO about us. So of course, we sent them a thoughtful, handwritten note, which got us a meeting. The meeting went really well. We did all the things we talked about earlier. We listened, we didn't talk so much, and then we created another Eros moment. When I was at the company, they gave me a tour of their office. It was there I met their office dog, Bo. Bo was one of the most cutest, adorable dogs I'd ever seen. It's clear that myself and the whole office were in love. So when I got back to my office, I reached out to one of our scribe tribe and asked her to hand draw an image of Bo on a surfboard because I knew the founder loved surfing. Less than 7 days later, this beautiful picture of Bo, framed, landed on the head of marketing's desk, instantly put on Instagram, hung on the wall, and they're still a loyal client with us 3 years later. What did that take? How much did it cost? But what was the impact? That customer has gone on to send meaningful moments with us every single week since to thousands of customers in over 72 countries around the world. And the best part, they're mind-blowing results. We sent a handwritten note after a first purchase, and we saw 30% increase in basket sizes, plus a 58% increase in repeat purchases, just from a simple handwritten note. It's not bad, eh? Another company that we work with came to us, a lady called June, who was struggling to win back lapsed customers. So we sent them moments of delight. The results? Hundreds of meaningful conversations and over £2 million in sales revenue. You see where this is going, right? People will forget what you did. People will forget what you said. But people will never ever forget how you made them feel. I've stood on stages like this all across the UK and around the world. And I ask one question. Name a brand you love. One of those brands you truly love. And out of the millions of brands out there, I hear the same ones over and over again. John Lewis. It's clear that customers of John Lewis don't just think the brand is okay. They rave about it. They buy everything from their house and their kitchen and their garden, all the way through to the groceries from them. They love their customer service. And those ads, don't they just make your heart melt? Lush, whose naked packaging, human brand, and stand for animal cruelty has captured the world's hearts and pockets. And Patagonia, who recently changed their strapline to say, "We're in the business of saving our home planet." Now this is one of the most precious items that I own. My beloved Patagonia jacket. Not only does it look, not only does it look good, has a lifetime guarantee, is very warm, folds up into an amazing little travel pillow that I take everywhere with me. When I wear it, I feel like part of a tribe that's saving the planet too. It costs 10 times or more than any other jacket that I could buy out there. But I don't care. I love Patagonia and what they stand for. In my recent conversation on my podcast called Humans in Business, I interviewed Simon Rogerson, who's the founder of Octopus. And he told me a magical story of one of his team at Octopus Energy. And I'd love to share it with you today.
This made me really happy. So there was a guy who called up, he spoke to one of our customer relations team, and they talked through one of the products he was thinking about investing in. And this guy was 70 years old, something like that. And the guy on the phone said, would you like me to send a brochure out to you? And the guy said, no, actually, there's no point sending a brochure out because I'm blind. So I won't be able to read your brochure if you send it. And the guy in our, Dave Johnson, the guy in our client relations team, went home and without talking to his manager or anything like that, he read out the entire brochure, recorded himself reading out the entire brochure, and then he put it in the post and he called the guy up and he said, clearly you can't read our brochure, we haven't got them in Braille, I'm really sorry, but I've recorded myself, and just listen to the recording and that explains all the product, including the terms and conditions, and see what you want to do. That for me is fantastic, that is in our culture and in our DNA to the extent where, you can't give someone, you can't say, here's the checklist for great customer service. You have empathy and understanding and you get it, or you don't. And that's a function of how you've been brought up and how you think about people in life. And that for me made me feel really good. I'm telling the story and I've got, my hairs are standing up. So that for me is what business is all about.
Kudos to Dave. That was a pretty spectacular Eros moment. But one brand, no matter the country or language, still remains the most outstanding in terms of love and loyalty. The local football team, the holy grail of lifetime loyalty. This is John, our head of sales and marketing, and his two adorable kids, Rudy and Hudson. John's favourite brand in the world, Derby City Football Club. His love for the brand stems from his granddad, who's sadly no longer with us today. He has such affection and love for a club and a city that he's never even lived in. If you ask him why, he'll either tell you about moments he spent at matches with family and friends, or about the impact the club has on the economy and the spirit of the city. He's so invested in them. When they do well, he comes into the office so happy and full of life. When they don't, well, let's just say we avoid him for the day. John's granddad's passion for the club passed on to his father, to his brother, to him, and now to his two kids. John, as you can see, pretty much buy anything that Derby sell. He's a loyal customer and will be his whole life. And his two kids probably will be too. Now that's customer lifetime value. How can we create this kind of loyalty, the kind that the Seymours have for Derby? How can we create a brand that we tell our kids about and they tell their kids about? It's time to love your customers. Love equals loyalty. How can you create your very own Eros moments? Moments that stop time. And I don't just mean once a year or twice a year. How can you make these magical moments business as usual? Remember, your customers are inputs. They are the greatest marketing tool that you have. Always communicate from a human to a human, from a friend to a friend. Drop the corporate BS and get into their world. Show your vulnerability. Share and showcase what you stand for. Kindness and caring is crucial. If you don't have a radical stand in your business, go back and create one. It's my mission to help businesses to be more human and to do the right thing by people and the planet. I genuinely believe that the future of business will put love, connection, and thoughtfulness at the heart of everything they do. The future businesses will be the ones that care about people, that are authentic and take stands in the world. So what are you going to go away and do to create your very own Eros moments? What are you going to go away and do to treat your customers like you would your family, your spouse, or your friends? And what are you going to go away and do to put more into this world than you take out of it? Love. A profound connection. A selfless interaction. It's pure and it's meaningful. When love is present, it creates a space where possibility unfolds. It's the greatest gift we have as human beings, and its potential is unlimited. Let's put love and that definition into our business vocabulary. Let's forget B2B, B2C. The future is human to human. So, what's love got to do with it? Pretty much everything. Thank you very much.
Strange idea.